When it comes to astrophotography, the mount is paramount. Well, which one is best? On one spectrum, you have the very light, portable, affordable. On the other end, you have very heavy, very expensive, but also very capable mounts. So which one? Well, it depends on what you're trying to do with it. This video, I'm going to talk about the very best in each category, and I'm going to do some analysis at the end and hopefully get to maybe which one's best for you. First off, we have the Skywatcher GKI mount kit. It's relatively affordable at $740. This portable go-to EQ mount has a payload weight of about 11 pounds, weighing only at 16.2 pounds for the whole system, so that's including the mount, tripod, and counterweights you might have. One cool feature about this is you can use AA batteries instead of just your standard DC 12 volt connection. Next up, we have the Skywatcher EQM 35 go-to mount. It runs in about $970, so a little bit more expensive, but has a payload capacity of 22 pounds, or performance at 37 pounds for the whole system. Next up, we have the Celestron Advanced VX. It's a little more expensive at $1179, but it does support up to 30 pounds of payload. The total weight for this whole system is 47 pounds, so as you can see here, more expensive, heavier, but also more capacity. That's generally how this trend goes. Next up, we're looking at Optron Gem 28 turbonectorial mount. Now it's going up to $1350. It does have a 28 pound capacity and weighs 38 pounds, so a little bit lighter. That's nice. We also have the little bit older Skywatcher EQM Pro. Right now it's running at $1475. It does have that 30 pound payload capacity. Next up, we have the ZWO AM3 harmonic drive. That's going to cost you $1,800. It does have a payload capacity of 17.5 pounds. That's without the counterweight, or you can go up to 28.5 with a counterweight, so that's nice. It weighs only 17.5, so it's a nice light system. And what's good about it is you can do equatorial or alt-azimuth modes if you want to do pictures or switch to visual. Okay, next up we have the more mainstream enthusiast class mounts. These get a little bit more expensive, but they're also a little bit more capable and heavy. Starting off, we have the ZWO AM5 mountain tripod system. A little bit more expensive than the AM3s at $2,300. It has a payload capacity of 28 pounds without a counterweight and 44 pounds with a counterweight, which is really nice, given that it's only 28 pounds for the whole system, counterweight and all. So that's pretty good capacity given how light it is. However, the Skywatcher EQ6R Pro, that's a proven champ, is actually what I own. It's at $2025 right now. Again, it has that 44 weight payload capacity, like the AM5 does, but it's 76.5 pounds for everything. So I definitely get a little workout in every time I take it out, but I can curl it no problem, so we're good there. A little bit higher than that, we have the Celestron CGX. That's running at $2,900 right now, so almost a third more money there. But it does have a payload capacity of 55 pounds, but it does weigh 85.2 pounds for everything, including the counterweight, which is heavy. That's about 10 pounds more than the EQ6R, which isn't very light. All right, moving out of the more mainstream and into a higher end, I'm gonna call it the more observatory A tier class. We really have two contenders, and that's the Skywatcher CQ350 Pro, and this one runs at $4,265 at this time, but it does ratchet it way up to 77 pounds payload capacity, and it's 89.5 pounds. That's with one counterweight. If you need two, it goes up to 111.5 pounds for two counterweights. Now looking at the Celestron CGXL, That's going to cost you a little more at $46.50, 75 payload capacity, and 120-pound system for counterweights and all. Heavy boy. Okay, so in the final tier, I'm going to call this the Observatory S tier mounts. Starting off, we have the software BISC, I don't know if I'm saying that right, robotic paramount MYT mount. That runs $6,000 right now. 50-pound payload capacity, 72 pounds for everything. So that's lighter than the EQ6R Pro and more payload capacity. All right, we also have the Skywatcher EQ8R Pro, which is really good, top tier. It'll run you around $63.50 right now though, but it does bring the payload capacity all the way up to 110 pounds. If you want just the biggest apertures possible, this will be able to support you. Now I'd say this is an observatory mount because it runs you 165 pounds with everything, mount, counterweights, all. So it's really, I don't know about you, but I can't curl 165 pounds very easily. So it's definitely more of an observatory kind of setup. Now at the very top end, we have the Skywatcher EQ8RH Pro. This is very similar to the EQ8R Pro, but it runs $10,500. Same weight, same everything else, but it does have this, you call it Renshaw RA encoder. Ultimately, it's supposed to be advertised to be much more accurate. Dylan O'Donnell has a great video on that, link below. Okay, so what does all this mean? Which mount is right for you? Well, let's move over to the analysis. On this chart, you see we have two different plots here. We have weight versus dollar amount and capacity versus dollar amount. On the vertical axis, the y-axis, you see weight or capacity, depending on what figure you're talking about. And then on the bottom, we have dollar amount. So looking at the dollar amount first, that's the blue line. We have the Skywatcher GKI is the cheapest one on the list, but it's also well below the curve in terms of what payload you get for a certain dollar amount, at least per the trend. Bumping up a little bit, the Celestron AVX gives you it's right at the line in terms of which payload capacity you get per a certain dollar amount. If you look at the EQ6R, it goes generally above the trend, which is nice. EQ or the ZWO-AM5, it's same payload capacity, so still above the trend there. Some things that stand out, if you're willing to spend a little bit more, the Skywatcher CQ350 is well above the trend in terms of the payload capacity you get for the dollar amount you spend. Same thing with the Skywatcher EQ8R. But again, that's a lot of money. But switching over to the weight per the dollar amount, the things that you can't really deny is the looking far left, the Skywatcher GTI. It's very light. The capacity is very high, but it's also very light and it's the most affordable of the bunch. The ZWO-AM3 pretty much comes into the same weight for everything, but it's far more capable. It's also far more expensive. The ZWO-AM5 is a little bit more expensive, but you do get significantly better performance for that. Okay, so which one is the best mount for you? Well, in my opinion, right now, if you're looking portable or more mainstream, I'd say the AM5 is probably the best option in terms of a balance of, it's lightweight, cost-effective, capable. You can have it be portable, or you can, keep it in an observatory if you want. You pay a little bit more, but you get that added flexibility there. So that's a good option, I think, for both of those categories. But now, if you think you have an observatory, or you have a little bit more strength maybe, and you're willing to spend a little bit more, the Skywatcher CQ350 is it's a very good option in terms of capacity, but also not that much more than like the CJX kind of thing. And again, if you're willing to just take it to the limit and you want a heavy, really capable mount, well then you can't go wrong with the Skywatcher EQ8R. And if money's no object, get the encoder with get that little H on the end. Well, thank you so much for watching. If you loved it or have recommendations for improvement, please leave your thoughts in the comments below. Please like and subscribe to encourage me to make more videos like this. But most importantly, whatever you do, remember to shoot for the stars. Thanks. I'm David, the Space Tech Tips, out.